supremacy, the real Jews black. Jesus Christ was a nigga, we scholars in the scriptures. Fuck your false doctrine. I'm a gangster, I can't go to church, hate false prophets. I face the east and pray towards the sun. Fuck your peace and I don't need your love. I'm gonna have slaves when the kingdom come. I see my adversaries teaming up, but they ain't ready for war. And if they is, we gon' bring it to them. Bring them through the pages, read Obadiah. White man the devil, he for sure a liar. Can't trust the snake, Jesus called them vipers. How you love everybody when we the ones dying? I'm bloodthirsty, pray my enemies drop dead. Only nothing God save, but won't forget it's for they sins. Niggas hypocrites, I just want slaughter and revenge. A sword and a crown they give my kids. Home with the truth, you ain't in this house. I was lost in the world, but I get it now. I got niggas sitting down who ain't getting out. You ain't ready for a baby, but don't kill your child. Home with the truth, you ain't in this house. I was lost in the world, but I get it now. I got niggas sitting down who ain't getting out. You ain't ready for a baby, but don't kill your child. And I can never be a Muslim because they worship rocks. If you don't serve the Most High, then you curse my God. Yahweh by Hashem, Yahweh stop rockin' God. Palm Yashala, shoot a king, that would die. I got wisdom for the prophets, I ain't without. I'm in the belly of the beast trying to make it out. I know the truth, so I can't transgress the law. For a long time, was a rebel without a cause. I was called by the Lord. I feel like the poor man with a dog licked his swords. They ain't from my neighborhood, but on all the scores. A church on that corner and my niggas still destroyed. We living in a town we don't really get recorded. Men of the Lord still prison, that's a war. I got a Glock, but Brotherhood a real weapon. You practice killing in my yacht, but it's still begging. Home for the truth. You ain't in this house. I was lost in the world, but I get it now. I got niggas sitting down who ain't getting out. You ain't ready for a baby, but don't kill your child. Home of the truth. You ain't in this house. I was lost in the world, but I get it now. I got niggas sitting down who ain't getting out. You ain't ready for a baby, but don't kill your child.
What it do? 50th, man. You know. Cult leader. Yeah. We speak the truth, but we a cult leader. Yeah. Well, listen, I'm a cult leader. Yeah. Well, listen, I'm a cult leader. Yeah. They say I'm in the cult, they say a nigga lost, but I didn't lost it all. Family and all, they didn't get involved. They just want a ball, son want to stall. Back against the wall, we gon' show them all. I don't wanna be here, playing other slaves. We are not afraid, we are not the same. I done seen death, nigga, looking in his eyes. My higher man told me don't live surprise. Them haters gon' cry, but them devils gon' cry. I don't wanna side, nigga, I just wanna ride. I don't wanna hide what I really feel inside. Them devils gonna pay for what they did to mine. Look me in my eyes, I want 7 wives, I want 7 kids. I want them to know that it was no road, that it was no joke. This is how it go. I do it with no patience, I mean no hesitation. Come on, Lord, we waiting. Look at what they saying. I can't let it be. I can't turn the key for what they did to you and what they did to me. They say I'm in the cult. I guess I'm in too deep. I guess it's really deep, but then it really needs to be. Forever it's one West. Forever we the best. You don't want to test. It's only one West. Cult leader. Yeah. We speak the truth, but we a cult leader. Yeah. Well, listen, I'm a cult leader. Yeah. Well, listen, I'm a cult leader. Yeah.
Wages of sin, death to your cult leader. You ain't one West, so you don't know scripture. You ain't in the truth, so you don't know niggas. Look, I had to change my ways, I don't know sinning. Got the name changed, not just how would I? How was I ever in the world? I gotta ask myself. Man, the white man, the devil, I ain't imagining. Put this in the hill, but my people can't imagine hell. I'm in the field with black male niggas fetish. Never drop my sword and I don't panic like Muhammad. The treasure house is fake, they just show you time. And you could go against the law, but you won't survive. People can't have a dream, they get birthed alive. Walk me on my enemies, the worst advice. If you ain't UPK, you don't worship Christ. Nah, say you don't worship Christ.
Cult leader. Yeah. We speak the truth, but we a cult leader. Yeah. Well, listen, I'm a cult leader. Yeah. Well, listen, I'm a cult leader. Yeah. But the Lord got all eyes on me. Even this.
Battery low. Power off. Power on. Bluetooth pairing. Bluetooth connected.
Treated gold like a caveman. I'm about to liberation. Piped up to the pipe down. These niggas selling pipe dream. Baby girl, sweet as ice cream, and I need you better believe my word. Sit back, look at my cheeks. Why you sleep with me? Competition ain't free. I'm about to take you to the creek. Then we can start the press and we let's start the rip.
Battery low. Power on.
You know when it's ready. Hey, sorry about that, Israel. Shalom, 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 Lord in Christ. Shalom, Israel. We are the Isupk. Started out at 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York, under Commandant General Yohana. We are not affiliated or associated with any other Israelite group or organization in the entire world. And if it's not of the Isupk under Commandant General Yohana, it is not the truth. Today, my name is Priest and Officer 500 Mayad. I'm joined with my main man, Priest and Officer 500 Marayala. And this is the Monday night Brotherhood class. So, Salaki, about the little technical difficulty there with the music. You know, we love Captain Kai's music up in here.
Right.
That better believe is nothing but certified fire. I'm a little salty it didn't get to play all the way through, you know what I mean? But the Lord had other plans, you know what I'm saying? So what we're going to do tonight is we're going to talk about, let me make sure, see if you can see my title here. So the title of tonight's class, Salakia, is, you know, whoredom is a lack of brotherhood and sisterhood. You know, whoredom is something that we have a big problem with in our community. You know what I mean? Not just like prostitution or things like that. You know, whoredom covers a lot of different things in the scriptures, from from sleeping with another man's wife, right. Sisters out here sleeping with multiple men at the same time, even whoring ourselves off to other gods. You know, there are all forms of whoredom. As a matter of fact, Mariah, hold up one moment. If you could, we're going to look up in the, this is a great book for you to have, Israel. If you don't have it, I suggest you get it. This is the Zondervan Compact Bible Dictionary. It's what scholars use. That's the Oxford. You know, they use that in Oxford and different places like that. You know, everybody wants to talk about the Strong's Concordance, and there's nothing wrong with the Strong's Concordance or the Strong's Dictionary. But and that Zondervan gets a little bit more comprehensive. You know, Strong's to me seems like what the average man uses, the average citizen uses. You know, that Zondervan That's something that it goes into a lot deeper definitions and meaning, so you can get better understanding of some of the things that the scriptures say. So if you could, Baba Gashai, look up the word whoredom inside of the Zondervan Bible dictionary, so we can get a good understanding about what that word means when what the word means when the scriptures refers to whoredom. Like I said, it's multifaceted. Whoredom is not just one thing. So let me know when you got it.
Come on. So what we have here is whore. The Zondervan Common Bible Dictionary, page 605. Whore, a woman who habitually commits adultery or fornication, especially for hire. A prostitute, harlot. It is noteworthy that in a very large proportion of cases, the word is used for idolatry.
So it says a prostitute, a harlot, a woman who sleeps around for money, a prostitute, a harlot, and then it says what?
Or fornication, especially for hire. For
fornication, for hire, and for idols. So when you're out here, you know, when you look, everybody will look at a prostitute and call her a whore. Everybody will look at a stripper and call her a whore. You know, everybody will look at a thought, a bust down, whatever you want to call them, and call them whores. But you don't realize that when you go out here for these other religions, that you're committing whoredoms against the Most High.
Right.
You know what I mean? When you go out here with the idolatry, you know, following after all these different philosophies and cultures, you know what I mean? So like that you are committing whoredom against the Most High. So, and that's one of the scriptures that the Lord has put up. As a matter of fact, let's see where I want. We're going to pull that up in the scriptures. Give me Exodus chapter 20 and verse 3. Matter of fact, you know what I mean? We have to realize that the reason, you know, it's whoredom because it's a commandment. You know what I mean? You can't go out here and celebrate and follow Islam. You can't go out here follow Egyptology. Right. You actually can't go out here following Christianity. You can't be a Protestant. You can't be a Catholic, an Episcopalian. You can't be none of these things. You know what I mean? The Most High does not agree with these things, and it's a direct breaking of a commandment. Right. If you could, Baba Gashar, read Exodus 20 and 3.
It's the book of Exodus, chapter 20, verse 3.
Read.
Thou shalt have no other gods before me.
Thou shalt what?
Thou shalt not. So thou shalt have no other gods before me.
The Lord said you shall have no other gods before him. That means you are not allowed to worship any other gods. You are not allowed to go into religions and all these different philosophies out here, you know, that I'm not religious, but I'm spiritual.
Right.
You know what I mean? Yeah, that's all nice and well, but there are a lot of different spirits out here. You know what I mean? You'll be entertaining demonic spirits that don't even know it, talking about you spiritual. Because you smoke a little weed and want to meditate. You never know what you're opening yourself up to. You know what I mean? So the Lord said that you should have no other gods before him. And that's period, point blank. There's only one God, one creator of everything. Yahweh is his name. You know what I mean? And he is a jealous God. Matter of fact, let's pull that up. Let's see. Salakia. He's a jealous God. He is a great and powerful, great and terrible power. You know what I mean? Let's see here. Give me Exodus. Find the Lord, thank God. I mean, yeah, matter of fact.
All right, that's it's 20 and 5.
20 and 5. Go to the next verse. There we go. Look. So just start it. So where were we at? 4.
We're at verse 3.
So yeah, we're gonna start at verse 3. And then let's see, do we need that in? We need the verse 4? Yeah, we're going from 3 down to 5. Let's go. So start that over.
Come. This is the book of Exodus, chapter 20, verse 3.
Matter of fact, let's start at verse 1.
Come.
So people can really understand the context of this whole verse.
Come. We're in the book of Exodus, chapter 20, verse 1. And God spake all these words, saying.
Now, verse 1 tells you who is talking. It's not Moses. It's not Aaron. It's not Mayad. It's not Mariala. It's not Commander General Yohana. It's not Captain Marquardt. It's no general, captain, officer, trooper, or young man in this entire school. It's none of the ancient prophets. It's none of our ancient leaders. This is God speaking these words.
Right.
Start that again.
Exodus chapter 20, verse 1.
Mm-hmm.
And God spake all these words, saying,
Mm-hmm.
verse 2, I am the Lord thy God.
I am who?
I am the Lord thy God.
He said, I am the Lord your God. I am the Most High, your power. You know what I mean? The Lord specifically told the Israelites that he is our God. He's not the God of anybody else. He wasn't any of the gods in Egypt.
Right.
He wasn't any of the gods in Assyria or Babylon or or America or any place that we've ever been led into captivity or any land we've ever lived in, a master we've ever served, oppressor that we've ever served under. Here's the Lord our God. Read.
God,
Mm-hmm.
which have brought thee out of the land of Egypt.
Out of what?
Out of the land of Egypt.
So if just in case you're confused which God he is, he's the God that brought the Israelites out of the land of Egypt. That God that destroyed Egypt,
Right.
that plagued Egypt for our sakes, for the sakes of the slaves, so they could get from underneath that evil Pharaoh, that oppressive slave master that Pharaoh was. Just like he's going to do, Salaki, just like he's going to do here in America and get us up from under this oppressor. Read.
Come out of the house of bondage.
Out of what?
Out of the house of bondage.
So just in case you're wondering what the Lord looked, the definition of the word Egypt. Egypt is an ancient, the land was not called Egypt, you know what I mean, by the people that lived there. Egypt is a Greek word that means bondage, okay? So Egypt was slavery went hand in hand with Egypt. Egypt built itself and made itself possible.
Right.
The mighty kingdom it was off the backs of slaves. So Lord called Egypt what did he call it? The house of what?
The house of bondage.
So Egypt is the house of bondage. Egypt means bondage. It doesn't mean like you look it up now on the internet, it says black land. Right. Listen, man, you have to be Salakia, you have to be a special kind of naive. I'm gonna keep it nice, Mariah. I'm gonna be nice right now. You got to be a special type of naive, right, to think that the people in Egypt back in the days called themselves black. Okay, like we call ourselves black. We've been calling ourselves black for a very, very long time.
Right.
But I guarantee you this: the ancient Egyptians, they didn't call themselves black people. You know what I mean? They called themselves whatever the hell they called themselves. You know what I mean? The land was called Mizraim and all these other things that it may have been called. And I'm not sure what the ancient Egyptians, I know we called it Mizraim. It's all through the Bible, the land of Mizraim, the land of Mizraim. You know what I mean? So the Egyptians did not call themselves black. So don't believe that new definition when you look up and you see Egypt, that it means black land. Egypt is a Greek word that meant bondage, okay? Read.
Come, verse 3. Mm-hmm. Thou shalt have no other gods before me.
Now, the Lord plainly said, now remember, this is God talking. This is the Most High himself. He spake these words. He said, thou shalt have no other gods before me, period. You're not supposed to put anything before the Lord God. No other God, no other nothing. And that goes even for yourself.
Right.
See, what you don't realize is when you celebrate your birthday, you make yourself an idol. You make yourself the most important thing on earth. And you are putting yourself before God. Right. A lot of you so-called Christians, you know, you'll get to celebrating your birthday. Lord forbid somebody at church forget to tell you happy birthday. You ain't going back to that church no more.
Right.
Or if your birthday fall on a Sunday and you're a diehard Christian, you won't go to church that Sunday. It's my birthday. You know what I mean? I'm gonna celebrate my birthday. It's my weekend. A lot of you said, this is my week. This is my weekend. This is my day. Right. We don't have a day. Every day belongs to the Lord. Every week, every weekend, every moment, every minute, every hour, every second belongs to the Most High God, not you. Your birthday is not important.
Right.
It's important to you because America has captured you and made you feel like that one day you're the most important person on earth. That one day when you were born, you were the most important person on earth to your parents because you were their child being born, to your grandmother, to your aunt, your uncle, whoever, to your family. You know what I mean? You were the most important person at that moment. You had your moment the day that you were born. You know what I mean? Now, every other day after you're born is dedicated to the Lord thy God,
Right.
not to you. Your birthday is not important. Your birthday means absolutely nothing. As a matter of fact, it doesn't mean anything to the people celebrating with you except for a chance to go out and get drunk and high and have a party.
Right.
You know what I mean? A lot of the times, a lot of birthdays, you know what I mean? People end up disappointed. I know I had a couple in the world where I invited all my friends out and put on Facebook, come have a drink with your boy on birthday, blah, blah, blah. And then nobody showed up.
Right.
That just let me know that it's just another day. That's all. Ain't nothing special happening on that day except you trying to make yourself into an idol for everybody to worship. You want to be worshiped and praised on that day. You want to be the center of attention on that day. That is a form of whoredom. You make yourself into an idol. The Lord has shown us extreme patience. The Lord has shown us extreme mercy. He has sacrificed Christ so that we could have grace.
Right.
And so that we can have a chance to survive in this world that he is going to destroy. And he has shown us what I would call extreme brotherhood. Not only being a great father, but he sent Christ to be the ultimate brother. And Christ sacrificed himself so that you could have grace, so
Right.
that you could have a little bit more mercy and time to get your act together. And you want to go out here and spit in Christ's face and re-nail him to the cross every single day that you can and celebrate your birthday, celebrate Thanksgiving, celebrate Christmas, celebrate Halloween, celebrate Easter, celebrate New Year, celebrate all these holidays. And if you're over in China, say if you were born in China and you're a black person, you celebrating Chinese New Year, and the year of the dragon, and the year of the tiger, and the year of the this, and the year of the that. You over there, everywhere we're at, we are committing whoredom against our Lord. And it is a spit in his face. It is a spit in the face of the Lord. You're spitting in the face of Christ. And that is the ultimate lack of brotherhood that you're showing. You are showing a lack of brotherhood. You are showing a lack of sisterhood. You are showing that you do not care about the sacrifice that the Lord has made, about the patience that the Lord is having, because you want to celebrate all these things.
Right.
But continue on with the scriptures.
Verse 4. Thou shalt not make unto thee any graven image or any likeness of anything that is in heaven above.
So all y'all sitting here trying to make Christ is up in the heavens with the Lord, waiting to be released. All y'all sitting here wearing that cross and got Caesar Borgia up on that cross,
Right.
and you worshiping that cross with the fake image of Christ hanging from. The Lord just said, don't make any graven images, because you're going to worship these graven images. Now, a lot of people like to get real simple. Like if you look on my war bands here, my wristbands, you know, I got the lion heads here. You know, that's the symbol for Judah. Don't get simple and say, well, brother, that's a graven image. But I don't worship these images. You know what I mean? Us in the UPK, we wear the Dawada. We wear, you know, the shield of David. You know what I mean? Oh, brother, that's a graven image. You know, we have the depiction of Christ. You know what I mean? That you can see that Jesus was a black man, and he has been drawn according to what the scriptures description of it. You know what I mean? But those images, first off, the Dawada is not a star, so that's not. You got that star on your chest. That's something in heaven. No, it's not. It's King David's name.
Right.
So that's not a graven image. That's actually the name of the King of Israel. So strike number one on that.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's not a star. It's a shame if you're a grown-ass man, excuse my language, you're a grown man or a woman believing that stars got 5 and 6 points on it. You know what I mean?
Right.
You really didn't pay attention in class when they went over physics and astrology for briefly, or anything that you don't even pay attention when you look in the sky and see that stars are round. You know what I mean? Little round balls in the sky, little balls of gas floating around in the sky in space. You know what I mean? Or distant planets. I have not seen a planet in all my life And all the times that our oppressors have shown through telescopes and space footage and all that other stuff, I have yet to see a planet with 5 and 6 points on it. So when you look at the shield of David, just because our oppressor calls it a star does not mean that it is one.
Right.
You get what I'm saying? You see how simple these philosophies make you? You see how committing whoredom against of the Father and turning your back on your culture, how simple it can make you? You know what I mean? Continue on.
God. Or that is in the earth beneath.
Uh-huh.
Or that is in the water under the earth.
Right. So, you know, and the reason, one of the reasons the scriptures say that, because you have to realize that all these other cultures, they have historically worshipped animals.
Right.
You know what I mean? They have gods that are set after animals. What is the god's name? I can't remember. If you watch that old movie, Conan the Destroyer, you know what I mean? There was a god on there that they were trying to resurrect and awaken in that movie. That's an actual god that was worshipped in ancient times. I can't, but it was a fish god. You know, so that's why I say you can't make graven images of things in the sea. Hell, Poseidon. You know what I mean? Poseidon is a fish god. You know what I mean? Today, you know, they made Aquaman after Poseidon, but you know, depictions of Poseidon was a half man, a fish-like being. You know what I mean?
Right.
So you and that's what I said. Or on the earth, if you look all throughout Egypt, good night. All you see is them making graven images of things on the earth that they worship. They worship cats. They worship dogs. They had cat gods and dog gods and Dagon. That's the name of the god. I knew it would come to me.
Oh, I was looking at one on Google.
Uh-huh.
It's almost saying ham, but it's heck me some crap.
Let me see that.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
Hatmiyat.
Yeah, I never heard.
Yeah, Hatmiyat or something. That's a fish god.
Right.
So that's why the Lord said, don't make graven images of things on land, in the heavens, or in the sea. Because you can look all throughout these heathen cultures, all throughout these non-Israelite cultures, okay? And you can see where they worship different animals. You know what I mean? They worship fish, they worship birds, they worship lions, tigers, and bears. You know what I mean? They worship cats and dogs. They worship, over in India, they worship cows. You know what I mean? They think cows are holy creatures. You know what I mean? They have worshipped, some cultures have worshipped pigs. You know what I mean? Different things. So monkeys and you name it. In China, they have the monkey god. You know what I'm saying? He's a half man, half monkey. That's supposed to bring some type of luck, and he's supposed to be some superior fighter or some crap. You know what I mean? Like, come on, man. That's why the Lord says these things, because he knows how wicked the imagination of man is. He knows how wicked the heart, the mind of man can become. And he knows that if we get to going after that he put these laws down to make sure that we don't go after these cultures and these religions, that we don't commit whoredom against him and start worshiping these idols and worshiping these images, thinking that there's something special and something unique when they definitely are not. Read.
Come, verse 5. Thou shalt not bow down thyself to them, nor serve them.
Do not bow down to them or serve them. That's why he said, don't make these images, because somebody's going to worship them. When you get to worshiping, you're going to bow down to them and serve them. That's why I said, you know, the Christian church with that cross. Good night. You know, the Christian and Catholic church, they bow down to statues. They bow down to that cross. They serve that cross. They serve these statues. You got people that take meal, cook fresh bread. You go down to South America, with our brothers and sisters down below the border. You know what I mean? They believe in that Virgin Mary. Like Catholicism has done a number on them. You know what I'm saying? They believe in that Virgin Mary, and if you Santa Maria, okay, and they go down there and they worship them statues of her. They put candles, they put food in front of it, like the statue gonna eat it. It's the same things that the prophets fought in the Bible. You know what I mean? Where brothers and sisters were feeding. The story was the Bell and the Dragon up in the Apocrypha. You know what I'm saying? Where they were feeding this statue, and it turned out they had a dragon or some type of giant lizard, you know, some overgrown lizard in the back that they were feeding, calling it a dragon, and then until they poisoned it, they thought it was a god. another story where they're worshiping these statues, and the brother and Sam and Bell and the Dragon, they were putting food down and stuff for this statue, and they're thinking the damn statue was coming alive at night and eating it. You know what I mean? Eating the food and eating the drink. So the brother said, oh, okay, cool. That's your God. It comes alive at night, I bet. So he put some flour down, or some sugar, I think it was flour. He put flour or sand or something down on the floor. I believe it was flour. You know what I mean? If you could pull that up, throw out of Mariah. He put it down on the floor, and then the next thing you know, they went out that night and came back, and they found footprints. They found footprints because the priest was standing. They had a secret door behind the statue. So when everybody left, they slid the statue aside and came out and grabbed the food and was eating. Lovely. You know what I mean? Because we wanna go after everything but the God that created us. We want to go after everything but the God that is our power, our true power base.
Right.
You know what I mean? And the Lord doesn't. And the Lord he's not playing. He doesn't play that. He said, "Don't have any other God besides Him." We're gonna go over a couple scriptures because the Lord repeats it over and over about God's and how He feels about it. You know what I mean? Go ahead and finish. While you look that up, go ahead and give me the next line in Exodus 20 and 5.
Come.
Real quick.
For I, the Lord, thy God, am a jealous God.
He said, I am a jealous God. You know what I mean? The Lord, look, He don't play. Any female out here ever had a jealous man? You know what I mean? And so we're going to pull up the definition of jealous. Definition of jealous. Feeling, hold on. Let's get it. Fiercely protective or vigilant of one's rights or possessions. What is the true meaning of jealous? To be jealous is to feel resentment, bitterness, or hostility towards someone because they have it says because they have something you don't.
Right.
The feeling or the state of being called jealous. But to be jealous is to feel resentment, bitterness, or hostility towards someone. You know what I mean? Because they have something that you don't. When you give your praise and your worship to another God, you're not giving it to our God. You get what I'm saying? When you give it to these images and these idols and these other things, you're not giving that praise, that worship, that deserve it. I want to say something other than props. You know what I mean? But you're not giving him the what's the word I'm looking for here? You're not giving him his just due. You know what I mean? You're not giving him what he deserves. You're not giving him the credit, Slakia, that he deserves. You're giving it to another God. And
right.
Our God said, Slakia, while Mariah looks up that story, that He is a jealous God.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Like the story is in verse 22.
You got it?
I'm gonna see how far. I'm gonna go back up.
All right. But while he continues to look that up, the Lord our God is a jealous God. He says in Exodus 20 and 5 that He is a jealous God. You know what I mean? Visiting, I'll finish out the verse for you while you look it up. Visiting the iniquity of the fathers upon the children unto the third and fourth generation of them that hate me. Now, when you go out and you give your love to another God, our God sees that you hate Him, because why else? You can't have two masters. The scriptures say that because you'll love one and hate the other. Right. So if you're following Islam, you hate God. If you're following Christianity, you hate God. If you're following Egyptology, Buddhism, Hinduism, you hate God. And you're giving His credit and His worship and His praise to something that doesn't exist. I hate to break the heart of anybody that's watching, but Allah does not exist. Buddha does not exist. Vishnu and Krishna and all them other and all that other crap, none of those exist. Those are all made up fairy tales, because other nations saw that we had a power and they wanted a power of their own. So they made up a power. It's either from some man, some leader they had long ago, some man that existed, or by some fairy tale that got very popular amongst their people and rose up. You got it, Mariah? Go ahead.
Verse 23. It's been on the dragon.
Where you at? The Apocrypha.
In the Apocrypha, been on the dragon, page 112. Verse 23. It goes, Start at verse
chapter 23.
It's
That's only one chapter. Okay, go ahead. So chapter 1, verse.
Chapter 1, verse 21. Start at verse 20. This is correct.
So he's in the Apocrypha, Bel and the Dragon, chapter 1, verse 20. Go ahead and read.
And the king said, I see the footsteps of men, women, and children. And then the king was angry. Verse 21. And took the priests with their wives and children, who showed them the private doors where they came in, and consumed such things as were upon the table.
Mm-hmm. So go up a little bit, because he said the footsteps, but it shows where he put the powder down in front of the statues. Well, anyway, he put the powder down in front of the statue. And the next morning, the king came. He came back with the king. And the king got mad because he saw the footsteps of men, women, and children.
Come.
You know what I mean?
So it's time for verse 1.
Oh, no, that's too far. He saw the footsteps of men, women, and children. And so then he snatched up the family of their priests, they fake priests, and made the family show them where the secret passages were. They were coming out of secret passages that night and eating the food. I mean, I'm talking about they laid it out for this God. They believed it was their God, so they laid a banquet for him. You know what I mean?
Right.
And they came out and they were eating lovely. And I'm sure they have been doing that for years. You know, just because you continue on in your sin for years don't mean that eventually it won't be exposed. You know what I mean? What's done in the dark shall come to the light. That's what the scriptures say. You know what I mean? Starts at 14 on down. So if you get a chance to, this book right here, this little red book, that a lot of there's some fake Israelite groups, they denounce it, but this book is so powerful. You know what I mean? The Apocrypha, get the authorized King James version of the Apocrypha, and get a chance to read Bel and the Dragon and some of these other stories up in here about our ancient history. You know what I mean? And you'll discover the things that we love so much about it. Any more else on this? Well, I finished that scripture, Salakia. So we're going to drop that. And we're going to go to Salakia. My screen is tweaking real over here. All right, Salakia. Sorry for that dead air. Like I said, I hate to do that. I didn't mean to do that. But as the definition of the word whoredom says, you know, it's not just a woman that sleeps around for money. It's not just all these other things. Whoredom is also going after idols and other gods. You know what I mean? So you know what I'm saying? Watch. You got to watch what you do.
Right.
You know. Also, another way of committing whoredoms, but we are going to get into the basic definitions that you understand.
Right.
You know what I mean? Brothers out here. You know what I mean? It's a very unbrotherly thing of you to whore your sisters out the way that we do. You know what I mean? In this kingdom. I know that, you know, this kingdom, everywhere you go, everything is sexually charged. You know what I mean? You watch TV, you listen to music, you watch commercials, billboard ads, you know, magazines. Everywhere you look, we live in a very, very highly sexually charged environment. You know what I mean? And sex has been deemed something recreational, you know, inside of this society where, you know, a woman is told it's your body. You can do with it what you want. You know what I mean? And that's just, that is a wicked thing to tell a sister. You know what I'm saying? Because if she thinks it's her body and she can do with it what she wants, now they talk about a body count. You know what I'm saying? Well, some of you sisters got a higher body count than the best, than the military, than the damn army at war. You know what I mean? Y'all body count, y'all got more bodies than a soldier at war. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, we have to be careful with the philosophies that we absorb and the things we absorb while we are inside of this captivity, because it's designed for our destruction. It's designed to make us go against the Lord our God. As a matter of fact, we're going to pull up that scripture about vain philosophies. So, let me find that right here. Yeah. Yeah, that's the one. You know which one it is. So we got to be careful when we following up after all these, you know, these sayings and the things that they tell us that we can do here. You know, because it's a lot. It's wrong. You know what I mean? It's all wrong. You can't just go out and sleep with whoever you want to. You can't just go out and use your body. It's not your body. Your body was given to you by the Most High God. Your mother and your father would not have conceived you unless the Most High God said that it was okay. You know what I mean? So it's not your body. He gave you that body that you occupy right now. He gave you that vessel so that you can navigate this world and give you a chance to come and atone for the things that you have done wrong. So you can't come out here and say that it's your body. You got that scripture?
2 Thessalonians chapter 3 and to make sure I get the correct one.
The wind of doctrine, vain philosophy. Well, why take your time, no big deal. You know what I mean? So, but that's one we have to get past the things. Colossians 2 and 8. Yeah, Colossians 2 and 8. You know what I mean? So the scripture warns us time and time again about, you know, following the ways of this wicked world. You know what I mean? Doing the things that we do. And I'm saying all this because, you know, it's, of course, it's leading up to to a particular topic. But, you know, we cannot ignore the simple whoredoms that we do every day. You know what I mean? If you got scripture, 2 and 8, 2 and 8. Mm-hmm.
Lucky, this is the book of Colossians, chapter 2, verse 8.
Read.
Beware, lest any man spoil you.
Lest any man do what?
Lest any man spoil you.
He's going to spoil you with these things. You know what I mean? To the definition, we're going to look up the definition of the word spoiled. I got that right here. Don't worry about it. You stay right where you're at. But the definition of the word spoiled, you know what I mean? To having becoming unfit, harmed in care. Okay, spoiled. First definition, harmed in character by being treated too leniently or too indulgently. Okay, so your character is harmed. Who you are as a person is harmed. Another word for the word spoiled is rotten.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's going to rot you from the inside out. So it said, beware lest any man spoil you. So unless any man make you harm your character or make you unfit for, you know, being too lenient with you or being too indulgent with you or letting you indulge too much. You cannot go out here having sex with whoever you want. Right. That's too indulgent. You're going to become spoiled. You're going to be rotten. You're going to be no good as a wife or no good as a husband. You're going to become spoiled. You will be rotten. You will be no good. Read.
God.
Mm-hmm.
Beware lest any man spoil you through philosophy and vain deceit.
Through philosophy and vain deceit. Sisters, when they say it's your body, that's a philosophy. That's vain deceit. The reason they tell you that it's your body and you can do whatever you want to it, because they want to do what they want to do with your body.
Right.
They want you to go out here and feel that you can sleep with whoever. And, oh, you know what? I know I slept with this person, but that was a mistake. I made a mistake. Yeah, you did make a mistake. You shouldn't have slept with that person or these many people. But once you make that mistake, according to the scripture in the eyes of God, you're stuck. So you have to choose wisely who you're going to lay with. It's not your body. You can't just go out and abuse yourself. Letting multiple men bounce up and down on you is an abuse of your body. You're abusing the box. And I don't know if you realize everything has a shelf life. Right. Eventually, it's not going to snap back. A lot of you are by the age of 18 are damn near, you can be damn near useless to a man because you've let so many brothers take advantage of you in so many different ways. Right. A lot of you brothers, by the time y'all reach 18, 19, y'all are burnt out too to a sister where you done so much that you don't even enjoy being with the sisters no more. And that's the one, you know what I mean? Right. Might turn you into an quote unquote alternative lifestyle. or you just don't value a woman like you're supposed to, and you become a no good man or a deadbeat dad by that age. You know what I mean? And for the rest of your life, you're spoiled to the virtues of a woman, to the better side of a woman, because you've abused yourself too much. You know what I mean? Not just the ladies, for the brothers. You can't go out here sleeping with every woman that just sleeping around with every single woman that you meet. You know what I mean? You have to use some wisdom. You have to be smart about it, because what you're doing to those women is unbrotherly.
Right.
You know what I mean? Keep reading.
Come. Mm-hmm. After the tradition of men.
Right.
After the rudiments of the world, and not after Christ.
So it says, after the traditions of man, after you're following the traditions of man, and you're following after the rudiments of the world. Okay? You're following the world. You're not following after God. You're not following the Most High's will. You're going against the Most High. You know what I mean? And that is one of the one of the worst things that you can possibly do to yourself or that sister, or sister you can do to yourself and to that brother. You know what I mean? Read that again.
Come. Mm-hmm. Verse 8. Beware lest any man spoil you through philosophy and vain deceit, after the tradition of men, after the rudiments of the world.
Right. After what?
After the rudiments of the world.
Right. After the traditions of men and the rudiments of the world. Your oppressor thinks nothing of sex. To them, sex is, I mean, hell, they're one of their great, was it, which one was it Socrates that said, you know, as far as it goes, that sex with a woman was meant to strictly for reproduction. You know what I mean? And entertainment. That the greatest love that they thought was between a man and a boy. You get what I'm saying? These are the people whose sexual philosophies you're following. That shows you how important they think. That their women are the first ones talking about, this is my body. I can do whatever it is I want to do with my body. I'm an independent woman. I should be able to have sex with whoever I want, blah, 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 blah. They are whorish people. Their society is a whorish society. Why are you following after whores? Why are you identifying with these whores? And then you bring those same whoredoms into our society, and you bring those same philosophies and vain philosophies and traditions of these men into our society, and you're destroying our people. Our people are, that's why we have the highest statistics in AIDS and STDs. That's why we have the highest statistics in single family household. That's why we have the highest statistics in all of the worst things in that you can imagine for a people, because we're following after things that are not our traditions. It's not in our spirit to be that way. Now, granted, we do have the spirit of being the best at whatever we set our minds to. So if you set your mind towards whoredom, you're going to be one of the biggest whores out here, which is sad, because you are a righteous people. You are a virtuous people by nature. You are God's chosen people. You know what I mean? You're the greatest thing walking this planet. We should not be following after these people. We should not pay. Their movies are entertaining. And now that you look around, every movie has an abundance of sexual, over-the-top sexual scenes in it. And now there's a bunch of homosexuality in it. Soon it's going to be bestiality and pedophilia in these movies, because they're normalizing it all. You're following the sexual philosophy of the people that sleep with animals. You know what I mean? They sleep with animals. They sleep with dogs, and they sleep with horses and pigs. You know what I mean? And cows and things like that. You're following people that have sex with animals. These are that's the sexual liberated front that you want to be a part of. You know what I mean? That's who you want to get your sexual cues from. It's disgusting. It's disgusting. It's unbecoming, and it is not of the Lord our God. It say it's okay to cheat on they have women cheating on their husbands. They have husbands sleeping with other men's wives. You know what I mean? Hell, let's be for real. You know what's coming up. Look at Jada Pinkett. Look at how she has embarrassed Will Smith. Look at the things she has done. Look at Gabrielle Union. Look how she has embarrassed Dwayne Wade. And it hasn't come out yet. But I wouldn't be surprised. I'm sure it will, and I wouldn't be surprised if it would. I'm not bearing false witness because I don't know for sure. but I can damn near guarantee that that woman is sleeping with somebody else, or she has slept, because she gave Steph and Aisha Curry the marital advice that they should sleep with other people. Now, why would this woman tell another woman who is insecure as hell? I mean, Aisha Curry, as beautiful as that woman is, as pretty as she is, or whatever, and as handsome as her husband is in this world, and as rich as that man is, that woman is very insecure. She has so many self-esteem issues that she got jealous that she wasn't getting attention from men anymore. You married one of the most popular basketball players on the face of the planet.
Right.
You know what I mean? A very rich man. Women love him. You know what I mean? Women consider this brother to be very handsome. You know what I mean?
Right.
So you got what's considered a catch, and you still want the attention of other men. You can't let go of that spirit inside of you. That's a whorish spirit. You know what I mean? Well, your man's attention, your man's affections, your man's lust is not enough for you. You want other men lusting after you. Well, sisters, when you have men, when you're married and you have men lusting after you, you're actually making those men commit sin. You know what I mean? Because it's sinful to lust after another man's wife. You know what I mean? Christ said that. Just the thought, I'm paraphrasing, but just looking at another man's wife and lusting after her in your heart is a sin. You know what I mean? So you want to be the center of sin. You want to be the cause of your brothers and sisters out here failing and dying, because the wages of sin is death.
Right.
Period. Okay? And if you sin long enough and unrepentant, the Lord is going to put you to death. All right? So you have brother being like Aisha Curry, which what she's doing is so unbrotherly and so unsister. As a sister, that is a horrible example of sisterhood. You know what I mean? You are out here flaunting yourself around. You want to flaunt yourself around in a way where other men are lusting after you. You want the lust of other men, even though you have a husband that loves you, a husband that provides for you, a husband that gives you a lifestyle that no other, that 99% of men on this, black men cannot provide for a woman, for our sisters. And we wish that we could. You know what I mean? But it ain't even just in taking it up to that level. It's on a day-to-day level, a basic level of brothers who are just out here working a very good job or struggling at a 9-to-5. If you have a pretty woman, or if you have a woman that's desirable, a lot of times these sisters, the reason that the scriptures say don't focus on the beauty of a woman is because a lot of these beautiful sisters out here have self-esteem issues. They're so used to getting the attention, or they didn't get enough attention, and one day they wake up and they're considered gorgeous.
Right.
You know, their bodies develop over time, and they develop their grown woman look, and some ugly ducklings have transformed into a beautiful swan. You know what I mean? And they still want that attention. It is a horrible thing for you to be a woman, to have a man and still seek the attention of other men. If you have a man at home that loves you, that's taking care of you, it is your duty to keep other men off you, to keep other men away from you. It is your job, okay? Period. Cover yourself up. Make yourself less desirable to other men. Don't be out here flirting and flaunting, okay? When you do that, this is what the scriptures say about it. Read, if you could, give me Deuteronomy 23:17. You know what I mean? We have to understand that the scriptures say there's nothing new under the sun. So these things that you are doing, they've been going on for a very long time. And it's one of the reasons our people get punished so heavily and have been punished so hard throughout generation after generation.
Right.
Let's see. Yeah, so we're going to do 17, Deuteronomy 23:17. If you could, please.
This is the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 23, verse 17.
Read.
There shall be no whore of the daughters of Israel.
Right. There should be no whores of the daughters of Israel. So, brothers, don't go out here trying to whore our sisters out. Don't go out here trying to just sleep with them and throw them away. because you want to build your cloud up. You want to be known as a player or a pimp. Listen, man, the Lord is going to punish you for that. That's sinful. He just said, no whores are the daughters of Zion. Sisters, you can't go out here sleeping with multiple men. You just cannot do it. You can't have one rod. You can't go rod hopping. You can't hop from one bed to another. You know what I mean? You can't build up your body count. You know what I'm saying? It's sinful to do so. You know what I mean? You are abusing your body and you are displeasing the Lord. The Lord said, read again from the top.
Deuteronomy chapter 23, verse 17. There shall be no whore of the daughters of Israel.
There shall be no whores of the daughters of Israel. Sisters, that means brothers whoring sisters, and that means sisters making whores out of themselves. That is something that is unacceptable. You know what I mean? And as I said, when you go out and do these things, you are brothers, you are harming your sisters when you do this. You are destroying a sister. You know what I mean? Because a lot of the times, and I'm not saying every situation, because you can run across a whore at any given time.
Right.
And she's just out here doing whatever but here's the thing, that sister, even if she's a whore, someone made her that way. You get what I'm saying? She's been destroyed. Brothers, when you go out here and sleep with sisters and throw them aside, you're destroying them. You know what I mean? You destroy a part of them. If they're opening their legs up to you, brothers, it's because it's something about you that they want to be with. It's something about you that they desire.
Right.
Okay. Inside, they might not know it, but deep inside of themselves, they look at you as a potential husband. They look at you as a man that they want to be with. You know what I mean? And what you're doing when you have sex with them and throw your sister aside is you're making a whore of her and you're destroying her.
Right.
That destroys our sisters. It does something to their self-esteem. It does something to their spirit. Okay? And it's not okay for you to do that. It is far from okay to be doing that. You know what I mean? And sisters, you can't go out here opening your legs up to every brother just because the world says that it's your body. You can do what you want. You're an independent woman, sexually liberated. All that dumb crap that they put into your minds, which are lies.
Right.
Those are all lies that made up by the devil. The white man is the devil that the Bible speaks of.
That's right.
And his philosophies are what's killing us in this community, in this world today. Those are lies, okay? You can't sleep with whoever you want. You can't go out here and be quote unquote sexual liberated. You want to liberate yourself sexually? Get you a husband and have a grand old time inside of that bedroom.
Right.
Do whatever you want inside of that bedroom. Have all the sexual liberties that you want. Swing, hell, get a trampoline and swing from the rafters. You know what I mean? Whatever y'all want to do, go ahead and do that in the bedroom, because the scriptures say the marital bed is not defiled. Sisters, get you a husband. Come inside this UPK. All right, come inside this one body. Get you a righteous man of the Lord and let him tear fire from you.
Right.
You know what I mean? And then you can explore all those freaky thoughts that you got. You can explore all those little things that you want to do with your husband in the sanctity of your bedroom, in your marital bed. And that will satisfy you beyond belief, because that'll be your man, and you can do whatever you want with your man. He can do whatever with you. You know what I mean? For however long, I can lock yourselves up take a vacation and lock yourselves in the room for 3 days and don't come out till you're satisfied. But don't run out here trying to sleep with this man and that man, opening your legs to this man and that man. You're destroying yourself, and then you're also destroying your brother. Okay? Because whether they admit it or not, when a brother sees you, there's something about it's the same thing with the same thing. A brother sees something in you that he wants and he desires. It's not all, and a lot of you gonna be like, yeah, it's just my body. No, it's not just your body, sister. You know what I mean? A brother looks at a female and he wants her. He would love to have you and keep you. But that brother has also been destroyed somewhere down the line and had his heart crushed. You know what I mean? Had his self-esteem destroyed. You know what I mean? Had his view of women skewed to a point where he's out here harming our sisters, whoring them out. You know what I mean? Not being a brother to the sister. So sister, you have to be a sister to that brother. You know what I mean? Don't go out and sleep with him on the first day.
Right.
Don't go out and just give your box away. Don't go out and sleep with him and then stop answering your calls and move on to the next man. You know what I mean? Biggie said in the song, she only wants you till someone richer come along. Well, guess what? That someone richer is only going to want you until someone finer comes along, or someone younger, or just till someone comes along. You know what I mean? If you could, Bobby, should I drop that and give me Leviticus 19 and 29? You know what I mean? Because a lot of these things that you're doing, if you're out here waiting for a rich man to come and get you and you only sleep with rich men, you know what I mean? You only sleep with a lot of sisters say, oh, he got to pay my bills. You know, I don't want a man that ain't going to pay my bills. I can't go out with a man that can't fly me here and do this and do that. Why does a man have to give monetary gifts to you for you to sleep with him? Why is his income a requirement? Now, I understand you want financial security, you want protection. Listen, there's a brother out here there are brothers out here right now that are struggling to get good jobs. They work themselves hard, but they will protect you with their lives.
Right.
They will give you their last. Okay, they'll go inside and give you their last to make sure that you're okay. But you want a man that he can give you $500-600 and it's nothing to him. It's nothing to him. So if that's nothing to him, what do you think he's going to end up doing? You're going to end up being nothing to him. Because he's going to get tired of throwing that money your way. He can go ahead and do that with anybody. You're not making yourself something unique or special, especially when all he got to do is wine you and dine you, and the next thing you know, you're in the bed with this man. You know what I mean? That's a certain type of woman, and you don't even realize it. Read the scriptures.
Mm-hmm. It's the book of Leviticus, chapter 19, verse 29.
Mm-hmm.
Do not prostitute thy daughter.
Do not what?
Do not prostitute thy daughter.
Do not prostitute thy daughters. So that goes out to the mothers out here and the fathers. When you tell your daughters, oh, you know what? You deserve a man. You need a man with a nice job.
Right.
You need a man with a nice car and a big house. You're telling your daughters to basically hold on so they can sell themselves to the highest bidder. You know what I mean? You don't tell your daughters, hey, you need a man that's going to treat you well. You need a man that's going to look at you like a princess. You know what I mean? That will give his last for you, that will protect you, that will try his best to provide for you. And you need to be the type of woman that he needs you to be. You need to stick by his side. Right. You need to have all these virtuous, you know what I mean, personality traits. You know what I'm saying? Not just, oh, you're cute, you look good. Fix yourself up so you can go out and get a husband. Fix yourself up so you can get a man. Put on the makeup, put on that red dress, put on your high heels. Right. You know what I mean? Go be a whore, be a prostitute. Go advertise yourself. Make yourself look as sexy as possible. Put on that tight dress to show your body off. Put on that low-cut shirt or that low-cut dress and show off your breast. You know what I mean? Put on this and put on that. Put that makeup on. Get your hair done. Beautify yourself as much as you can. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with beautifying yourself, ladies. Please do. We love to look at you. Y'all are the most Black women, Black, Hispanic, and Native American women. Y'all are the most stunning creatures on the face of this
That's
planet.
Right.
Hands down.
That's right.
There ain't nothing better than you. Nothing looks better than you, moves better than you, smells better, tastes better, nothing than you. You are the greatest, and we love you dearly. But don't go out here whoring, prostituting yourselves. Some of your parents have set you up to prostitute yourselves, and you don't even know it. And I'm not talking about you going around and a person giving you $50, $60, $100, $200 to sleep with them, although they will.
Right.
But what you're doing is you become a dating whore. A lot of women say, oh, I'm just dating. Okay, so you're just allowing guys to go out and spend whatever amount. A lot of you talking about, you know, I like fine dining. I like traveling. I like this. I like that. You have no idea what fine dining really is.
Right.
You think what our oppressors tell us is fine dining is fine dining. You know what I mean? You think because you can eat shrimp, pork, crab, and lobster that's fine dining. When those are abominations, shrimp and lobster, crab, and I know it's considered fine dining, but those is nothing but roaches.
Right.
That's nothing but the Earth's garbage disposal units. They're just like pigs. They eat anything. They eat manure. They eat feces. You know, when crabs, lobsters, and shrimp are in their natural environment, they're eating the waste of the other sea creatures off of the bottom of the ocean.
Right.
You know what I mean? So whatever waste trickles down, whether it's urine, whether it's feces, whether if they've eaten too much and they regurgitate and vomit, all of that stuff trickles down and settles down on the rocks and on the fungi and all that stuff. And that's what your delicacies are eating. That's what their diet consists of. But our oppressors have told us that those things are delicate. So you will go out and whore yourself for some nasty shrimp. You'll go out and prostitute yourself for some nasty crab. You know what I mean? For it's just disgusting. So I could go ahead.
I said, if I could, but you're bringing that so heavy. As far as that shrimp, crab, and lobster, good night. I used to work at a restaurant, a couple of restaurants. And even the shrimp itself, I don't know if it's made like that, but the shrimp itself, you have to peel the plastic off, and there's a feces like right inside. If you rinse it off, that's sad.
Now, and here's the thing, right? Because I've seen, I know chefs, okay, and I've heard it said before. They said they have to devein the shrimp. If you hear anybody talking about deveining a shrimp, how about this, yo? When you devein a shrimp or devein a lobster, that's not a vein. That is an intestinal tract. It used to be called what it's really called, deturning. Okay? That means you have to take out their little intestines and scrape the feces out of the shrimp. So when you get shrimp and you see that little black line in the middle, that means someone didn't detur that shrimp. They didn't devein the shrimp, as they say. Oh, they just didn't devein it. That means they did not take the intestinal tract out of the shrimp, and you're eating, excuse my language, shitty shrimp.
Right.
Okay, no other way. Excuse Salakia. Excuse my language.
It's like a double S.
It's like double S. You know, you out here double S-ing it. You know what I mean? Like that is feces inside of this shrimp. That is its intestinal tract. And a lot of you sisters consider that fine dining. So you want to be wined and dined. You want to be taken to this high-end restaurant and that high-end restaurant because you deserve this and you deserve that. What? You deserve what? Why do you deserve these things? Because your parents told you that you deserve it? Because your parents put this philosophy in your head of how to get a man and how to dress yourself up and what not to take from a man. Don't date a broke man.
Right.
Okay? Yeah, don't date a man with no ambition. Okay, don't date a man that's just going to sit around on his behind and do nothing at all for you. But if this man just does happen to not have a job, that doesn't mean he's broke. That doesn't mean that he hasn't tried. A brother can provide you with guidance. A brother can provide you protection. There's a lot of things that a man can provide for you outside of monetary gain. You know what I mean? So in Proverbs 31, they talk about the perfect woman. She goes out and makes her own bread. She goes out and makes her own merchandise, where merchants buy from her. She takes care of her family. Her children are proud to be her children. Her husband's proud to be her husband. Her father's proud that that's his daughter. You know what I mean? Her mom's proud. She's a go-getter. She don't need anybody's money because she's out there going to get it, but she's going to get it to bring that money home to the family.
Right.
She's going to get it and bring that money home to her husband. You know what I mean? To make sure that, and her husband could be a hardworking man, or her husband could be a brother that's down on his luck, but she's going to make sure that family is okay. She's going to make sure that she does her part to uplift her household. She's not waiting for some man to come on some gold chariot with some gaiters on and an Armani suit, you know what I mean, to come and sweep her off her feet. That is not our way. That whole Prince Charming coming in to sweep the poor Sleeping Beauty who's in his Cinderella, she's in here broke, sweeping floors, bottom of the barrel, and Prince Charming is going to burst in the door with wavy hair on a horse and just scoop her up out of poverty and take her to the castle. That's not our style. Right. Yeah, those stories are good as to look at as kids, and those stories are very entertaining. But at the end of the day, those stories can kick rocks.
That's right.
Okay? That is not how it goes in the nation of Israel. That is not how, those are oppressor stories. Those are Edomite stories. Those are Edomites' philosophies and traditions, where they have their women waiting on this Prince Charming. That's not us. And when you are out here and you think that you're too good for a brother, now I'm not saying just go give yourself away to anybody.
Right.
You know what I mean? You're not supposed to just lay down with any old body or marry any old body. You have to search them out. The scriptures say to prove a friend. You know what I mean? So you want to search out a brother. But when you're out here rejecting brothers because you feel they don't make six figures, they don't got 2, 3, 4 degrees in the white man's educational system. They're not some CEO or some high-ranking societal member or blah blah, whatever the things that you all make yourselves in your mind that you're too good for brothers for. That's a very, very whorish mentality, because you're waiting to sell yourself. You're waiting to sell yourself for the person that comes with the right price, first of all right? And then you're not being a very good sister, because you could marry a brother that has less than you, and you can be the one that is that financially provides for the family, considering that we live in a climate where women are financially, black women make more than black men. Now, I know the whole man-woman dynamic, but sisters make more than brothers. You know what I mean? So it's your duty as a sister to go out here and search out a man and find out if he's a good man. Stop looking at his wallet and look at the qualities of that man. Look at his personality. Look at his characteristics. Look at what he's willing to do for you. If that man is willing to go to death for you, that is a good man. That man is willing to sacrifice his life for you, that is a good man. If that man is willing to give you his last to make sure that you're okay, that is a good man. Stop trying to look at a brother's pocket, because you know who else looks at pockets? Prostitutes.
Right.
Go ahead and read it.
Because to cause her to be a whore.
To what?
To cause her to be a whore.
You see, to cause your daughter to be a whore. That's I'm sorry, it's just one of the words. Let me get Leviticus, Salakia. You know what I mean? Let me get there with you. Salakia.
Okay.
Right. You know what I mean? So you don't prostitute out your daughter. This is for your parents. Stop putting that bull crap in your daughter's head. You know what I mean? Your daughters are supposed to marry, and that's another thing. They end up marrying outside the race because they claim ain't no more good black men out here. Right. You know, our sisters get to making 6 figures or get to making good money out here and get high positions in society, and then they say they can't find their equal. Sister, that's the problem. You're looking for an equal. Your equal is your sister next to you, okay? A man is not your equal, and you are not a man's equal.
Right.
It's not made like that. That is another vain philosophy given by our oppressors about this whole thing about equality. It's funny that the people that show that put us down and keep us down preach to us a philosophy of equality. That's because, sisters, they want you. They want to take you from us. They desire, you're the most desirable woman on this earth. So, of course, they want that trophy black woman.
Right.
You know what I mean? But you're not going to find your equal out here, because you are not equal to a man. A man is not equal to you. Stop looking for that equal. You can't. It's not going to happen. And then if you're out here, there's more women in the world than men. There's more sisters born than brothers. Okay, if you're out here and you're financially stable and you're making all this money, you meet a brother that's making all that money, you're financial equal. Okay, you and 12 other sisters won't. You and 30 other sisters won't. That brother. So unless you're finally going to decide that it's okay for you to share a man with another sister, you know what I mean, you're going to end up feeling cheated on, because that brother got more options than just you. You know what I mean? Let's stop prostituting yourself. Parents, don't put that image in the system. Put the things, the qualities, the virtues, the moralities, the righteousness that your daughter should seek out in a man, not monetary value. That's the reason that divorce is so high in the black community, because sisters don't marry for love anymore. They don't marry for protection. They don't marry because, you know, this man is you know, personality wise, and it maybe even looks or whatever, everything that she's been looking for. You know what I mean? They marry brothers that, oh, well, you know what? I saw that he had a good job.
Right.
You know, I knew he came in, and he one sister I dated back when I was in the world, you know, she had a quote unquote ex-husband, and you know what I mean, she married this man, but not because he was a good person, not because she liked how he looked or liked his personality, because he came in and when he was courting her, when he was trying to get with her, he was buying a lot of different things. He was coming with gifts, taking her and her cousin and her little cousin, her niece and nephews and all this and sisters and stuff on trips and paying for everything. He bought her. You know what I mean?
Right.
And she sold herself to this man and then end up being, you know, from everything the sister said, being miserable in a marriage with him. She didn't like him. The family didn't like him. You know what I mean? He had a horrible personality. And so she prostituted herself to this man, to marry a man and spend the rest of her life and have children with a man that she really didn't like.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because he had money, because he appeared to have money, because he had a nice job and he came out and flashed that money and then he bought you. Got something to say?
But that sounds like that movie. It was Shania Lathan with that white dude. I can't think of the name of that movie.
I know, yeah, I know which one you're talking about, right? And then they get possessive because you know what? Yeah, they just bought something. Just like they get mad at somebody breaking their car and steal their car, they're gonna be, you are just another car, you are just another TV, you are just another accessory, and then they're gonna do what they always end up doing. They're gonna go out and sleep with however many women they want. They're gonna go out and whore out other women while married to you. You know what I mean? Because they bought you, they can buy another one. Fine, hell, I bought this pair of shoes. If I got money, I can buy this pair of shoes. It don't matter if they Gators or Jordans or whatever. If I bought one pair of Gators, I'll buy another one.
Right.
I bought this $300, $400, $500 pair of Jordans. I'll buy this $300, $400, $500, $600 pair of Jordans. It's nothing. You know what I mean? Need more on that.
Come. Lest the land fall to whoredom.
So that's the what?
Lest the land fall to whoredom.
Because you raise your daughters to be that way. They're going to go and raise their daughters to be that way, who in turn are going to raise their daughters. Next thing you know, the land, meaning the people, meaning society, meaning our nation, is going to fall into whoredom.
Right. You're
going to have a bunch of sisters out here like there is today. Back in the days, we keep seeing these pictures of sisters fully dressed. They dress nice. They got long dresses on. They're not showing their bodies off.
Right.
You know what I mean? In our community, in the Black community, we didn't do those things. And that's nothing that we learned from our oppressor. That's just how we were naturally.
Right.
Our sisters did not want to shame themselves. They felt shameful if their breasts were shown. They felt shameful if their behinds were shown. That's why you got your grandmothers and great-grandmothers talking about, baby, you need to cover that up.
Right.
Don't nobody want to see that. You know what I mean? Or your grandfather's like, yo, cover yourself up. Have some decency about you. Because not that long ago, I'm talking about just go back into the 60s. You know what I mean? The 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, and some of the 70s. You know what I mean? It was not, Black women were not okay with dressing like whores.
Right. On
the majority scale. Black women didn't expose their bodies like that. You know what I'm saying? They covered up. They dressed properly. Even brothers. Brothers didn't walk out with and now, same thing with brothers. They whoring them. So they want to walk out with their shirt off all day.
Right.
They want to walk off showing, now they, sagging their pants, showing their draw. Look, brother, I don't want to see your drawers. I don't want to see your behind. Cover, like we tell a sister, cover your nasty behind up, brother, cover your nasty behind up. Why I got to turn around and look at your butt and look at your drawers all day long because you can't keep your pants on your ass.
Right.
So you know what I mean? It's offensive. It's offensive to me. It's offensive to the brothers around you. You know what I'm saying? We telling our sisters to cover up, and brothers are trying to get more naked. What kind of reverse psychology is that? You know what I mean? Psychology is that. What kind of ass backwards thinking is that? You know what I'm saying? Our people are falling into a trap. Our people have been snared. Our people have been trapped in this society for far too long, and we're doing things that go against our nature.
Right.
You know what I mean? And these things that go against our nature all stem from a lack of caring about your brother and your sister the proper way. If you cared about your brother, if you cared about your sister, if you cared about your community, you wouldn't act these ways. You wouldn't dress this way. Brothers, you would not run around with your butt showing with your drawers showing, with your shirt off, and all that other stuff. Because brothers really don't want to see that.
Right.
You know what I mean? It makes brothers uncomfortable, and then you're being a temptation to your sisters and making you're doing this so you can run through different females. You're doing this so you can whore out our sisters. That's not the spirit that we need to be in. Brother, you need to cover yourself up too. You need to put your shirt back on. You need to pull your pants up, cover your behind up. You know what I'm saying? Walk, talk, and act like a real man. Learn the virtues of being a man. Stop trying to buy all these sisters. Stop trying to prostitute them. You know what I mean? Stop selling yourself short and selling our sisters for cheap. You know what I'm saying? It's not okay the way that we're living as a people. All this breaks down to our oppression. You know what I mean? All this breaks down to symptoms of our slavery. During the course of slavery, they took the sense of shame out of us. They took that sense of privacy away from us. You know what I mean? Because they forced us to live in shacks where, I don't know if you saw the movie 12 Years a Slave. You know what I'm saying? The beginning of the movie, they showed how he was laying there and the sister basically grabbed the rod and did her thing with him. And then, you know what I mean, beginning of the movie, and then later on, he went to talk to the sister. She didn't want nothing to do with him. Want to know why? Because she was sitting there burning in her lust. He's burning in his lust. They're laying there. The sister wanted the man, so she went and slept with him real quick and got hers off and then left him alone. That in a room full of other slaves. So a man and a woman trying to be together, they had to do it in a room full of people. Sisters had to get dressed in a room full of brothers and sisters. You know what I mean? You had to shower in groups. You know, you had to sleep in numbers. Then you have master who will come at any given time and just ravage a woman or a man in front of everybody else. Right. So our sense of decency and our sense of shame got stripped from us, along with our name, our culture, our identity, and our God. They stripped more than just that from us. They stripped everything they could from us to make us 3/5 of a man, to make us appear less than human. You know what I mean? So when you're out here whoring out your script, like the scripture said, there'll be no whores of the daughter of Zion. Brothers, don't go out here whoring our sisters, and sisters, don't go out here whoring yourselves to brothers. Any more in that scripture?
Come. And the land become full of wickedness.
See, now, when you raise your daughters to prostitute themselves, when you raise your sons to prostitute themselves, to whore out women, the land becomes wicked. That's one of the reasons we got punished the way that we have been punished. That's one of the reasons that we got sent into captivity the way that we got sent into captivity. Right. You know what I mean? And we're stuck here now because of that, because as time has progressed on, we have found ourselves more and more trapped in that horrid spirit that is in America. We more and more trapped in the ways of our oppressors. As I said, if you just go back to the 50s, 60s, and some of the 70s, before the white people had that hippie movement, you know what I mean, that sexual freedom movement, that free love movement, that's what they called it, free love. Well, they were just smoking weed and popping acid and doing heroin and doing everything. All they were doing was getting high and having sex. And then they were convincing brothers and sisters that was the way to live. And that turned into thoughts. Modern day, from free love to thought culture. You know what I'm saying? Because it's okay now to sleep with whoever you want. That's perfectly fine. Back in the days, a lot of our sisters did not sleep with anyone until they were married. You know what I mean? Hell, if a sister got pregnant, she got sent away because she shouldn't have been sleeping around. I don't care if she was 15 or 25. Right. You don't have a husband and you pregnant, that was a shame to a family. You know what I'm saying? You brought shame on your family and shame on your household being that way. But nowadays, hey, it's okay. They pregnant at 13 years old. You know what I'm saying? And no one bats an eye in our community anymore. Right. Because our sisters have been prostituting themselves to these brothers. They go out here and they want to sleep with the drug dealers. They want to sleep with the cats they see with the money and the nice cars and the nice clothes and blah, 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 blah. And it don't matter how they got it. And for the sisters, they go out here and twerk and dance and dress in the most provocative outfits that they can to try to outdo each other to entice the brother to come sleep with them. Then the brother comes sleep with them and knock them up and leave them. Now you got another single parent out here You're going to pass that generational curse down to your child. And then the next thing you know, the land is full of wickedness. The ghetto is full of murder and death. The projects is full of murder and death. Everyone from America to Brazil to Trinidad, Tobago, to Haiti, to Jamaica, to wherever we are, is filled with sin, death, and destruction of our brothers and sisters. You want to know why? Because you don't care about your brothers and sisters enough to cover yourselves up and stop imitating the ways of our master. Stop pouring yourselves out.
Right.
This society is full of nothing but evil spirits and whoredom. Matter of fact, let's go to Revelations. You know what I mean? We're going to go to Revelations. You know what I mean? And let's see what it says about this society. You know what I mean? Revelations 18:2. I know you knew what I was talking about. That's right. So we're going to hit the book of Revelation. Go ahead. I'm going to let you call. My bad.
This is the book of Revelation, chapter 18, verse 2. And he cried mightily with a strong voice, saying, Babylon the Great is fallen.
That's right. It said he cried with a loud, mighty voice. Babylon the Great is fallen. Babylon the Great is modern day America. America is nothing but modern day Babylon. It's in my car, sir. It's modern day Babylon. You know what I mean? So lock it one moment. Underneath the panel where the radio is. Yeah, come. So America is nothing but modern day Babylon. So when it says Babylon the Great is fallen, this is talking about the fall of America. And that day with this wicked society finally comes to its end. Read.
It's fallen. It has become the habitation of devils.
Of what?
Of devils.
The habitation of devils, the habitation of liars and deceivers. That is all America is. It is the habitation of liars. It is the habitation of deceivers.
Right.
Okay. You've been lied to from the moment you stepped off those slave ships, and you're still lied to today. You've been deceived the moment that you stepped off them slave ships, and you're still being deceived today. It is not okay to be a thot. It's not okay to be a whore. It's not okay to be a pimp. It's not okay to be a player. It's not okay to be any of those things that cause you to commit whoredom or become a whore.
Right.
Anything that causes you as a man to, as a brother, or to whore your sisters is not okay. Anything as a sister that causes you to whore yourself out to a brother is not okay. Okay? It is unacceptable. And it is the most unbrotherly and unsisterly thing you can do, because you're going to cause your brother or your sister to sin. And then you're going to cause them to fall out of favor with the Most High. And then you're going to cause them to be punished by the Most High because of your whoredoms. Read. And the hold
of every foul spirit, and the cage of every unclean and hateful bird.
So this is the hold of every foul spirit. Whoredom is a foul spirit. Murder is being murderous is a foul spirit. Drug addiction is a foul spirit. Prostitution is a foul spirit. You know what I mean? Rape, robbery, murder, child molestation, all of these things are the foul spirits that are in the whole. The America is the hold of. Okay, the hold in this sense of meaning means like the home, or like the what's the word? Kind of like the box. You know what I mean? The container. And this hold means container.
Right.
This place contains every foul spirit that you can think of. And it says the cage of every unclean and hateful bird. These foul spirits, these unclean spirits, and that hate that is here in America, it flies freely in the air like a bird. It's on the wind. It's everywhere you go. It's all around you. America is a modern day Babylon, and when this place falls, it's going to be a great moment for Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because we're going to get freed from this hateful, wicked, unclean place, and can finally get ourselves and our spirits in order and live the way that the Most High wants us to. You know what I mean? And the sad part is, like, we look for leadership, but we can't find leadership anywhere.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? We look for people that have so quote unquote made it, and we can't find it You know what I mean? Because they are leading us astray. You look at your actors and your athletes, you look at your entertainers, and all of them are committing whoredom one way or another. You know what I mean? A lot of them are closeted homosexuals.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? A lot of the sisters, good night. They have had so many men inside of them. You know what I mean? That you would be surprised at how many men have slept with these sisters. We look at them and think they are so beautiful and think that they're so this and so that, but damn near every dude in Hollywood then had their chance with them. And that takes me back to the latest one, which is Jada Pinkett Smith.
Right.
If you could, let's break Miss Jada down real quick. We're gonna go to Proverbs 30 and 20. You know what I mean? That sister right there back in the days, you know, myself and the brothers in my generation, Jada Pinkett back in the days was that chick that most brothers wanted.
Right.
You know what I mean? And it ain't because she was the finest thing on earth, but it's the character that she displayed and played on TV and in movies. You know what I mean? She was that pretty cute chick who was tough and would ride and die for you.
Right.
You know what I mean? She would stick by her man. She'd be that chick. Her little thing was thumbing her little nose and throwing her hands up like, what you want, son? Like she'll fight for you. You know, she that little chick. You be like, baby, come on, stand down. I got her. I'm gonna knock him out. You ain't got to. You know what I mean? Go on in the house. You know, that's you got to calm her down. You know what I'm saying? You got to hold her back because she ready to fight the world for you, for her man. You know what I mean? She was the cute, down, tough, hip chick, loyal, and we know it was acting.
Right.
You know what I mean? We know, and she's very good at it because she was convincing. Even in her interviews, she still portrayed that energy about her. But as you have seen in recent years, we know that Jada Smith ain't nothing like that.
Right.
That is one of the most wicked, disloyal, whorish, unsisterly women on the face of the earth. Because if she was more of a sister, she wouldn't be out here destroying her man.
Right.
She wouldn't be out here destroying her husband the way that she is. If you could, Baba Gashad, and we're gonna take it back to her original thing that everybody, her entanglements. Let's go to Proverbs 30 and 20. Read that.
30 and 20.
30 and 20. Proverbs, yeah.
Come. I haven't seen the scripture, okay? It's the book of Proverbs, chapter 30 and verse 20.
Mm-hmm.
Such is the way of an adulterous woman.
Such is what?
Such is the way of an adulterous woman.
Such is the way of an adulterous woman. Jada Pinkett Smith is an adulterous woman. We only know off the back about August Alsina. You know what I mean? But at one point, she claimed that they had an open relationship.
Right.
Now, she said they had an open relationship, but Will, you kind of got the vibe from Will that he didn't really go out here and do what he could have in that open relationship. Now, I ain't saying that brother innocent. He had his indiscretions, as they say. You know what I mean? But Jada seems to have, you know, I think that open relationship seemed to be more for Jada.
Right.
Especially with, you know, her saying, now she recanted her statement, but the damage was done that, you know, being married for so long, it's hard to keep that sexual interest up in her husband that it ain't not so good, you know, that Will basically ain't holding his part up in the bedroom. First you go out and cheat on the man, then you say he not tearing fire in the bedroom like he should. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
That's the ways of an adulterous woman. You know why your husband don't please you in the bedroom? Because you didn't have too many different rides in you while you have been married to that man.
Right.
You done gone out and slept with this dude and that dude. Yeah, I'm sure Will Smith at 50-something years old, you know what I'm saying, ain't tearing fire like he did when he was 20 years old. Even if he was, you as a 50-some-year-old woman done ran out and slept with a 22, 23-year-old man.
Right.
Of course, you know what I mean? That's going to feel different than your husband. And then you're going to go back. You got this young boy full of energy and vitality in the prime of his life, bouncing up and down on you. You know what I mean? And he looking at you like you're one of the most beautiful women he's ever seen. So he's trying to give it to you the best that he can.
Right.
And then you got your husband who loves you, who probably makes love to you. You know what I'm saying? And he's giving it to you the best he can. But now that you done went and slept with this other man, your husband don't feel the same no more.
Right.
You didn't have a different pleasure inside of your marriage than you should have had. You should never have, once you're married, you should never know what another man feels like. Only man you should know is your husband. So then you won't go out and make these asinine statements and have to recant them to them. Oh, there's no problem in our bedroom. Yes, sister, obviously there was, because you running around sleeping with different men. But that's the ways of an adulterous woman, of a whore. You're going to go out and do these things, and then you're going to come back and destroy your husband. Read.
God, she eateth and wipeth her mouth and said, I have done no wickedness.
She what?
She eateth and wipeth her mouth and said, I have done no wickedness.
So Jada, she done had her cake and ate it too. All right. She got to marry one who was considered one of the most handsome, well-mannered, friendly, funny, one of the wealthiest, hands down, not only black actors, but entertainers on the planet.
Right.
Will Smith at one point was making $25 million per movie. Independence Day, he got $25 million for that movie and every movie after that. So when you see him in Independence Day, Enemy of the State, I, Robot, I Am Legend, he was making at the least $25 million per movie. Good night. That man is 100 millionaire. Right. That man has so much money, he could never spend it in his lifetime or his children's lifetime. Okay? So she went out and got one of the wealthiest black men that you can ever find on the face of the planet. You know what I'm saying? Right. And now she is destroying that brother. She went out and cheated on that man. She went out and explored different men, and now she's coming back talking about how her bedroom, that they married, their sex life ain't what it used to be. I'm sure it's not, sister. Because your sex life is not with your husband anymore. Your sex life is with these other men. We only know about one, but we know that there's others because y'all had a quote unquote open marriage at one point. That's why your kids are so damn destroyed. That's why your daughter want to be a boy and your son want to be a girl.
Right.
Because you're a lousy mother and a horrible wife. An adulterous woman is a lousy mother and a horrible wife. Go ahead.
If I could. Also with their relationship, the fact is that with this industry, these people are so wicked. They have to do like a lot of they take like a lot of drugs in order to stay woke. They time after time they make movies. That's how Bernie Mac got burnt out. You know what I'm saying? He was making all the movies and he was taking a lot of drugs and he didn't feel himself.
That's right. See, there you go. All the drugs, the late night partying. Yeah, I mean, all the orgies, all the things that they do in Hollywood, like we don't really know about on a daily, but we've heard so many stories of brothers who come and say what that goes on behind closed doors in Hollywood.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, after all of these things, yeah, it's going to be kind of hard for your husband to please you when you just slept with 12 dozen men in the course of your marriage.
Right.
You could drop that and give me Proverbs, the book of Proverbs, chapter 12 and verse 4. You know what I mean? We have to understand, brothers and sisters, you know what I mean? You want somebody, you don't want a Jada Smith. You don't want a Gabrielle Union. Hell, you don't even want an Aisha Curry. You know what I mean? We haven't heard anything about Aisha Curry cheating on Steph Curry, but the fact that she's friends with a Gabrielle Union and Jada Pinkett Smith, and she's heard merited advice from these women, you know what I'm saying? I wouldn't be surprised while Steph was on the road that some young dude that crept up in there and she's so thirsty for the attention that somebody done gave her that attention.
Right.
And Steph may not know it, but somebody done probably gave his woman attention. But I'm not going to falsely accuse the sister. I'm just stating, brothers, you don't want sisters like this.
Right.
Sisters, you don't want to be women like them. Those are some very insecure women that have some deep-rooted issues. They have demons that have conquered them that they cannot conquer. And they don't think there's anything wrong with their behavior. That's the problem with it. Yes, it is something very wrong with them and their behavior. And they need to seek counseling from the men of the Lord to get their spirits in check.
Right.
They need to come in here and pay General Muhammad or Commander General Yohana to provide them with marital counseling. You know what I'm saying? They need to come in here and marital counseling is free, but for them, they need to pay. Right. They can come get it for free, but y'all need to donate some money. You know what I'm saying? Y'all need to donate something because we do the work of the Lord up in here. You know what I'm saying? And it's deserving. You know what I'm saying? But it's like, let me get back on that. Let's get the book of Proverbs. Con.
This is the book of Proverbs, chapter 12, verse 4.
Read.
A virtuous woman.
A what?
A virtuous woman.
A virtuous woman. Something that Jada Pinkett Smith is not.
Right.
Something that Gabrielle Union is not.
Right.
Megan Thee Stallion is not.
Right.
Cardi B is not. Little Kim is not. And the list goes on and on and on and on and on of these women. Aisha Curry, Salakia says, you're not.
Right.
Seeking the lust of other men, you're not a virtuous woman. You know what I'm saying? A virtuous woman does not want those things. A virtuous woman does not want the lust of other men. She desires the lust of her husband.
Right.
She desires her husband's attention. She desires her husband's love and affection. She desires her husband's ride, and only her husband. Read.
Come. A virtuous woman is a crown to her husband.
Is a what?
Is a crown to her husband.
A virtuous woman is a crown to her husband. She makes that man feel like a king. You see what I'm saying? That man feels like every day he can be at the bottom of the barrel. A brother with a virtuous woman can work at McDonald's.
Right.
Okay? He can work flipping burgers and come home smelling like fries. But if he got a virtuous woman, he's going to come home and feel like a king when he gets in. That woman is going to say, baby, I know you're working hard for this family and doing everything you can, and I appreciate it, Daddy. You know what I mean? I appreciate it. I appreciate you, baby. I love you. Here, let me get you something to eat. You've been out all day. Let me draw you up a nice warm bath. You know what I'm saying? Let me scrub your back. Let me help you take your shoes off. You know what I'm saying? Let me do this for you. Let me do that for you, because you are a great man and you work hard for this family, or you work hard for me. You know what I mean? To provide for me. That's what a virtuous woman will make a man. That's why I said a virtuous woman is a crown to her husband.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because if you got a virtuous woman, it don't. That's why if you look back in the day, some of the slave documentaries, you know what I mean? If you look at, hell, the things that they say about slavery, one of the things that slave masters did to knock brothers down a notch when they felt when they felt that you was too uppity as a black man, you would go and rape your wife.
Right.
Because you know why? And then that destroys your wife. She's sitting at home with that trauma, causing her mental issues, causing her all types of problems. And you just can't console her because he done beaten, raped her, or just went out and just raped her and all that. Now she's inconsolable, where before you would come home from the field, when you come home from master whipping your back, calling your boy, disgracing you, calling you nigga, and all them other things that they used to do back in the day. And you would go back home and your wife would make you feel okay.
Right.
Your wife would be the one, when you get back, she'll hug and a kiss. You know what I mean? I can imagine how often a brother that was in slavery and his woman would just sit back at the end of that long day of serving master and just hug each other.
Right.
Hold each other. She telling him it'll be okay, him telling her it'll be okay. Comforting each other, consoling each other. Because you know why? Even though he was a slave, a brother could come home and his wife would make him feel like a king for the rest of the night.
Right.
You know what I mean? That's what a virtuous woman does. That's what a good woman does. But let's see. But then again, because we already know, our people are destroyed, our sisters are destroyed,
Right.
our brothers are destroyed. So let's read the rest of the scripture, and it's gonna and let's see.
Come.
Mm-hmm.
But she that maketh ashamed.
But she that what?
But she that maketh ashamed.
But she that maketh ashamed. You know what I mean? What do you think it means by maketh ashamed? She that's out here, Isupk Curry, she that's out here seeking other men's attention. Because the attention of your husband is just not enough for you. Your husband's eyes and compliments and affections and attention is just not enough for you. That's a shame. You shame your husband. You shame your father. You shame every man in your family to let the world see what type of insecure and selfish monster that they have raised up out here, right, and what type of monster that this brother is married to. It's a shame for your father, your brothers, your uncles, the men in your family that they raised you as a little monster. and put that insecure, selfish mentality in you. And then it's a shame to the brother that married you that he has to be married to such a selfish and insecure monster that will embarrass him like she did to him.
Right.
And look at and Will Smith. So like I was gonna say read, but read that from the read that again.
Come. Proverbs chapter 12, verse 4.
Mm-hmm.
A virtuous woman is a crown to her husband.
So a virtuous woman is a crown to her husband. It's a glorious thing. It is something that the world can see on top of his head and recognize that he is a great man. He walks around feeling great. He has a confidence about him. He has an air about him because he knows that he got a good woman, he got a good wife or good wives, whatever, at home that got his back. Regardless, it's going to make, no matter what he goes through during the day, he can't wait to get home to that woman because she's going to make him feel good. Read.
Come. But she that maketh ashamed.
Jada Pinkett.
But she that maketh ashamed.
Gabrielle Union.
But she that maketh ashamed.
Isha Curry.
But she that maketh ashamed.
Megan Thee Stallion.
But she that maketh ashamed.
Cardi B.
But she that maketh ashamed.
Lil Kim.
But she that maketh ashamed.
Your local thought of hood rap.
But she that maketh ashamed.
The sister that want to sleep around with other brothers and is asleep that and just destroy households.
But she that maketh ashamed.
Read.
Is as rottenness in his bones.
She's like rottenness in his bones. Will Smith filled that through to his bones. The embarrassment and the shame that Jada Pinkett has put on him. He feels it in his bones all the way through and through. I've never had any bone issues, you know what I mean, in my life. Well, no, I can't say that. I got a little arthritis in a toe, right? I feel that. I know that discomfort. When it hurts all the way through it, and ain't no rubbing it out. It ain't nothing that can be done for it. You just gotta keep trying to adjust it and rub it and keep doing what you're doing to soothe it, but the pain ain't gonna go away till it go away. You know what I mean? She's like rottenness in his bones. It's like his bones are inside his flesh, so no matter how strong his body is, no matter how fit, no matter how good he looks, no matter how healthy he looks, deep inside of him, there's something rotting away from him that makes him feel sick, that makes him feel depressed, that makes him feel inside like he's less than a man, like he's not as strong or as powerful as he can be or he once was. That's what that rottenness in the bones is. And it's in his bones. So it's deep, deep, deep inside of him in a place that nobody can see, but he deals with every day. Every day, Will Smith got to deal with the consequences of his wife's actions, with the way that she's making that man feel. Every day, Dwayne Wade is living with the consequences. Every day, Steph Curry has to live with the consequences. You get what I'm saying? And it's a lot of you brothers out here that are living with women that rot you through to the bone because they are not virtuous. They bring shame upon you with their behavior. They bring shame upon you with the way that they act, the way that they dress, the way that they treat you, the way that they talk to you, the way that they talk about you. Those are not women. You don't need those women in your life. You can leave. Bro. You know what I'm saying? Those are women you need to get rid of. They're not good sisters.
Right.
They're virtually useless to our nation. You know what I mean? A woman like that wants to lead over a man and rule over a man and downgrade a man. If she was a leader, she'd be a horrible leader. She'd be one that caused destruction because her selfishness she would solely focus on herself and she would let the people die. Like she's letting the spirit of her husband die.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like she's letting the spirit of that man die. She's destroying her household. She's destroying the protector of her household. You know what I mean? So these women, man, they are wicked. They are good for nothing. They are rottenness to the bone. They're rotten to the core, and they'll cause you to weaken. Right. They'll weaken you, and they will destroy you if you let them. You know what I'm saying? Is any more on that? No. All right. Let's see. I had another one. I can't. Salaki, if I could, Mariah, take over for half a second.
Now, if you women want to be a help to the men in the UPK and to the men at home, humble yourself down. Open your ears. Shut your mouth. There's one thing you can do. every man in this world will look to you. If you go on TV right now and shut your mouth for about 10 minutes, every brother on the planet will look and tune in to you. If you go live right now and just don't say nothing. You know what I mean? That's the spirit our women need to get when you come in front of the priests and prophets of the Lord and your husband.
That's right. Damn right. You know what I mean? Was that the scripture you for real quick?
I was trying to go to but Titus at the which one it was.
Oh, go ahead. Pull that scripture. Wherever you was trying to go. So like I said, you know, there's a certain spirit. If you are a sister, there's a certain spirit you need to have when coming to your husband. A lot of brothers and sisters need to read Proverbs 31. Proverbs 31 is such a beautiful, beautiful chapter. You know what I mean? It really makes you realize the true strength of a woman and how a woman could be. It's really describing what a virtuous woman is. All the greatest aspects you can imagine. And it is not you being home barefoot and pregnant. You know, that barefoot and pregnant line, that's another thing that's from our oppressors. You know what I mean? Matter of fact, we're gonna bring this scripture out. You know what I mean? Because being a horrible wife and a horrible mother, being not a good sister and not a good brother, that's not our culture. You know what I'm saying? That's not how we were raised. It's not in our spirit. Like I said, up until from slavery on until the 60s. Basically, it started in the 60s and the 70s, but then really in the 80s and 90s, that spirit really pushed forward. You know what I'm saying? And that's when our people started being more and more destroyed. If you could, Baba Gashar, give me Jeremiah 10:1. You know what I'm saying? So we have to get back to who we are. We have to realize that we are adapting the ways of our slave masters, and it's destroying us. If you can't be a good wife or a good husband, you know what I'm saying? If you're too busy trying to be the whore that society celebrates, you know what I'm saying? Your household is destroyed. You're destroying yourself, and you're destroying your household, and you're destroying our nation. I want to say community, but it's not just community, it's our nation. Right. You are one of the reasons that our nation cannot be that it's taking so long to be rebuilt, because you're selfish and you only care about pleasing yourself. The men in the Isupk have foregone our own personal pleasures to please the Lord, to rebuild our nation. Now our pleasures are the pleasures of the Lord. Our pleasures are the Most High's pleasures. When a new brother and sister walks in those doors to come and change their life and come away from the world, that pleases us more than anything else in this world. And then when they come in here and get their Hebrew names and they stick to it, that is the most pleasurable thing in the world. For me to have sat by, I came in here as a young man, and Mariah Yala was here, and me and this brother have been in these trenches together for at least 3 years now. 3-4 years now. You know what I'm saying? That is one of the greatest pleasures of my life, to serve next to this brother.
That's right.
And every man that is in this Chicago school, from Captain Marquardt down to Trooper Karakar and Ashar.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? That is the greatest pleasure of my life. Well, before, my pleasure was whoring our sisters, smoking weed, going out partying, going out on these holidays, celebrating all that crap. Right. You know what I mean? But I learned what real pleasure is. The pleasure of feeding our people. You know what I mean? Doing food drives and clothes drives. You know what I'm saying? Providing diapers and infamil and essentials to our people. That is true pleasure. You know what I'm saying? That is the pleasure of my life. And I'm not saying that my rib can't provide me with pleasure, because a woman will always provide you with the physical pleasure. Right. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of time, emotional pleasure and all that stuff, yes, that is true. And that is she's you know, women are wonderful. You know what I mean? But doing this work of the Lord provides you with a pleasure that you cannot get out of anywhere else. So stop being selfish, trying to please yourself. Come in these doors and learn how to please the Lord. Right. If you could, Baba Gashar, read that scripture.
The book of Jeremiah, chapter 10, verse 1.
Read.
Hear ye the word which the Lord speaketh unto you, O house of Israel.
So once again, this is the Lord speaking once again to the house of Israel. The Lord said about, don't have any other gods. He's jealous. He Can't no idols, no graven images, none of that. The Lord spoke that directly to us, along with other commandments.
Right.
There's something else he's saying. Read.
Verse 2.
Mm-hmm.
Thus saith the Lord,
Mm-hmm.
learn not the way of the heathen.
Learn what?
Learn not the way of the heathen.
Do not learn the way of the heathen. Sexual freedom and sexual revolution is a way of the heathen. Independent woman, you don't need a man, all that. That is the way of the heathen.
Right.
Okay? Going out whoring our sisters, being selfish, you know what I'm saying? Being not satisfied in the marriage that you chose. That was the ways of the heathens. You know what I'm saying? Jada Pinkett, what she's doing to Will Smith is a heathen way.
Right.
Because our women do not shame our men like that publicly. Y'all can have whatever argument y'all want to have behind closed doors and work it out amongst yourselves. Or seek marital counseling or work it out in counseling. But you do not go on a public platform in public forums or in the grocery store or at the movie theater or wherever you want to do these things at, brothers and sisters, and shame your husband or shame your wives.
Right.
You do not do that. That is not our ways. Throwing drinks in each other's faces and slapping each other in public and all that other crap that we do. Those are things that we learned from our oppressors, from watching too many goddamn movies. You know what I'm saying? From listening to too much damn music and watching too many movies. It's mostly these movies and TV shows that we get this crap from. That's their culture. It's not ours. Read.
Right. Come. And be not dismayed at the signs of heaven.
Oh, yeah, come. Sorry. Drop down to verse 3. Salakia.
Come. Verse 3.
Mm-hmm.
For the customs of the people are vain.
For what?
For the customs of the people are vain.
For the customs of these people are vain. Their customs are nothing but vanity. They do this crap for show. They do this crap so they can feel. When they cheat on each other, when they embarrass each other, when they show all of these things and all this behavior on television, to them, it boosts them up. They're proud to be that way. You know what I mean? Edomite women are proud of the fact that they disrespect their husbands the way that they do. Hell, their husbands are proud of their women for being disrespectful like that and taking charge. They say, I love it when she takes charge.
Right.
Oh, man, you know, I don't run the household. She does. You know, happy wife, happy life. Ha, ha, ha.
Right.
All of that crap comes from them. We don't believe in that happy wife, happy life crap. You know what I mean? Happy spouse, happy house. You know what I mean? Woman, have your if you got a husband at home that's happy and pleases him, your household is going to prosper. If you don't, he's going to leave and go get another family, and you're going to be stuck raising kids by yourself and miserable.
Right.
Brothers, you have to be, you know what I mean? You have to please your wife, be there for your wife. You know what I'm saying? That is your sister. You have to protect her. You have to provide for that family. You have to be a good man to that woman. If you don't, then she's going to go out and cheat and commit adultery with some other man and become a whore, and the Most High is going to destroy her.
Right.
And your household. Then you're going to be miserable. Let's get it together, people. Let's stop being like our oppressors. Let's stop running after every other thing, every other god, every other woman, every other man. Stop committing stop being whores and committing whorish acts. Okay? Stop the whoredom, because it is the most unbrotherly and most unsisterly thing you can do, and it's one of the most destructive things that that is occurring inside of our nation.
Right.
It's because of the whoredoms of our people that we are destroyed and left in this captivity that we are in. We're too busy trying to please ourselves instead of pleasing the Most High. We're too busy trying to serve ourselves instead of serving the Most High and serving each other.
Right.
Let's get back to these laws, statutes, and commandments. Let's get back to who we are supposed to be as a nation so we can gain our freedom.
That's right.
That's right. Once again, we are the Israelite School of Universal and Practical Knowledge, started out of 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York, under Commandant General Yohana. I am Priest and Officer 500 Mayad. That's my time, Israel. I'm going to hand the prayer class over to Priest and Officer Mariah.
ISUPK security announcements. We have the ISUPK, started out of 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York. Rule for new brother and sister. When a new brother or sister comes into the school, they are off limits for 6 months. They are here to be saluted only. They are here to share themselves of the world. If they need transportation, the teacher will arrange it. After 6 months, if a brother or sister has an interest in a particular person,
He or she must get permission from the head to marry. It's like from the head to speak to a brother or sister. There was another 6 months in which the brother and sister would court each other. After this 6-month period, the brother and sister would get permission from the head to marry. Tithes, which is a commandment. Numbers 18 and 21. Malachi 3, 8 through 10 verse means 10th in the Hebrew, ma'ashara, 10th of every penny of any increase the Lord gives you. Gives the treasury department or teacher. Priest fund, free will offering for priests, not mandatory. Whatsoever amount you would like to give. Upcoming holy convocations. We have the Feast of Dedications, Sunday, November 28th. Bringing family members and friends out. Now, if anyone wants to be a trooper in the school, to start wearing all black, boots, shirt, pants, headband, and scarf. Then I'm saying, Majum, with the courtesy salute to the teacher. Men of Israel, Imam Shabbat, Majum, Barak, Yahweh, Ba, Shimmy, Yahshua, Brotherhood.
Yahweh, Shimmy, Yahshua, Brotherhood.
Yazamata, class dismissed.